nothing like seeing people face to face and to properly honor your children who have accomplished some pretty darn great things. And I do always like to start off by letting parents know that this is a very important award. It's not just because your child does very well in school, which is true, but it's also because they have leadership traits. They are kind people. They are good role models for everyone around them. We value all those things. We want our students to do well academically, but we also highly, highly value their kindness toward others and their willingness to help peers. I think you're going to hear a lot of stories about that today, about how these are very helpful young ladies and gentlemen who do well in our school environment across many, many settings. So, without further ado, I'm going to start bringing up our principals who will let you know how and why your child came to be honored today. And they get many different goodies today. I'll explain what they're going to get. They're going to get a little plaque that says they're outstanding this month. And then in this packet are some gifts, which includes a picture of all the students honored this month. But when they come up and get their award, if you want to do a little photo op with the principal and them, have at it. We love paparazzi. What's good as a good student achievement if we don't get pictures? So without further ado, and one more thing I want to say is this award is only given out, the child can only get it once per their career, and it really does represent the top 1% of our students. So we've got 4,000 students here in Newington. I'll let those of you that are better on math than I figure out what that really means for how many kids get this award annually, but it's not that many. So, without further ado, I'm going to ask Mr. Jason Smith, principal of Anna Reynolds, to tell us all about the wonderful Leah Pettit. Leah can come up as well.
So I'm here today with Leah Pettit. Before I talk a little bit about Leah, I wanted to start off and share our process for selecting our Outstanding Student of the Month, which is very similar to many of the schools. The classroom teachers have the opportunity to nominate a student from their class to be their Student of the Month, and then a committee of staff look over all the nominations and make the selection for our Outstanding Student of the Month. And as Dr. Brown said, Leah Pettit is our October Outstanding Student of the Month. I had the opportunity to talk with Leah, and I also had some of her previous teachers, as well as her current teacher, share some things about her. I'm going to read that now about Leah. So Mrs. Bedonia, her 4th grade teacher, shared that Leah is a role model student. She follows the ABCs of Reynolds and shows an enthusiastic attitude towards school. Even when some work is challenging, Leah perseveres and isn't afraid to ask the teacher for help. She is helpful to her classmates and is responsible in terms of handing in homework assignments, coming to school prepared, and carrying out her classroom job efficiently. Way to go, Leah. Her kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Cotrera, said that Leah demonstrated in kindergarten that she would be destined for great things, and here she is as our Outstanding Student of the Month. Leah came to kindergarten each day, ready for whatever the day had to offer. I'm so proud of all Leah has accomplished so far. Leah, I wish you nothing but the best as you move on to middle school and beyond. Love, Mrs. Cotrera. Leah's 2nd grade teacher, Mrs. Gorney, shared that Leah exudes kindness, respectfulness, and a hard work ethic. Her smile continually lit up my classroom. In 2nd grade, Leah worked so hard as a reader to read books that really explore her world. I'm so proud as I see her becoming a leader in her years here at Anna Reynolds. I know her hard work and kind heart will continue to lead her to all the best places. Leah's 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. LaFerriere, shared that she had the privilege of having Leah in 3rd grade last year. Seeing her grow and take risks in class was something amazing to watch. She's a quiet, friendly, and motivated student who loves to take on a challenge. She always 100% would try her absolute best in my class each day, which made her a model student for her peers. She would make me little sticky notes, pictures to put on my desk almost every week that would say something like, "Thank you for being my teacher," or "You are the best teacher." So I want to now say to her, "Thank you, Leah, for being my student and being the best you can be in my classroom." Mrs. Schumacher, her art teacher, shared that Leah is a perfect role model for her peers. She is hardworking, kind, and humble. I can always count on Leah to lend a helping hand. Congratulations, Leah, well deserved. I had the opportunity to sit down with Leah and talk to her about why she feels she was selected as our Outstanding Student of the Month. It's interesting, many of the things that Mrs. Madonia said, you also said about yourself. Leah shared that she always wants to be focused in school, she does all of her homework, works hard, and when she doesn't understand something, she asks for help. At Anna Reynolds, Leah is a member of the school chorus and orchestra, where she plays the violin. Outside of school, she plays soccer for Newington Lightning. She enjoys hanging with her friends, walking with her mom, and playing football with her dad. She aspires to be a hairstylist when she is older. Congratulations, Leah, for being Anna Reynolds' Outstanding Student of the Month.
So this is your award. I think moms are trying to take a picture. Give it to Mr. Smith.
Thank you so much.
But before we let you off the hook, Leah, and I forgot to tell kids to prep for this, so Leah's going to be the first person to do this. Tell me, what recommendation would you give to other kids who want to have such a great academic experience like you are? What would you recommend?
Maybe like always do homework and be at school on time.
So have a good, we call those habits of work. Coming to school on time, that's what you're supposed to do. But they're very important. So there's a lot of goodies in here for you, and congratulations. How about another round of applause? And I wanted to introduce that we just had a special guest arrive. Miss Anastasia Yap is a member of the Board of Education. She just arrived a little bit ago to join us today. And I forgot to mention that we have people potentially live streaming in. Hello, live streamers. We sent that link out earlier today. If there's a friend, a relative that couldn't be here, a mom or a dad that has to work, plus we're going to record this, send it to everyone here after the meeting so that you can share it out to everybody, as you should. So now, without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Marciano up to tell us about the successful Mr. Thomas Schultz. Come on up.
This is my better side. I don't want you looking at this side. So before I talk to you about the amazing Tommy Schultz, I will just do one thing and say that two things. What Mr. Smith said about the process is very the same as Elizabeth Green, and I just want to take a moment and offer a thank you to all of our families today. If there's any gauge of how you're doing as a parent or family member raising a child, I think this is one of those experiences. So I would like to say congratulations to all of you, children and families, and give you a round of applause. Now I have a lot to share, so pardon me, there was a lot of people that wanted to give feedback and talk a little bit about Tommy. So Tommy is a 4th grade student in Ms. Griswold's class. He was selected as our Outstanding Student of the Month for his kindness, helping and caring about others, his efforts in school, and his overall positive attitude. Tommy lives by the Cub Scout oath, whereby he is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, clean, and I love this word, reverent. After our meeting, I had to go look that one up. I was like, where's reverent? Let me check that one out. Tommy certainly demonstrates these traits at our school consistently. He told me that in school he's always kind, willing to help the teacher and classmates, follows the rules, and does what he is told. He closes with, I don't misbehave, maybe just a little at home. I tell the truth, and I agree, he sure does. His teacher, Ms. Griswold, writes, Tommy is a hard worker who is very motivated and excited about learning. He is one who goes above and beyond, and is always looking for areas where he can grow. He is a quiet and respectful student who students look up to in many ways. He has been working hard on increasing his participation in the class since the start of the year and has made great improvements. He is always the one we can count on for a unique historical fact. Ships sinking in the Great Lakes filled with a particular type of ore is just one example, and has a great sense of the world around him. He's a great friend to others and a great partner to work with in the classroom in all academic areas. Recently, when out sick, he copied his brother's homework packet and completed it while home so he wouldn't be behind once he returned to school. In addition to working on his student council nomination slide and speech, which he did end up winning, right? Wow. Awesome. He was definitely responsible. singing conference, he was very open to feedback about his fluency and word attack strategies and eager to work on improving. He has a great sense of humor and a kind, thoughtful heart. Tommy is such a pleasure to have in class. Some of his former teachers wrote some things too. Ms. Serrano wrote, Tommy is a sweet and thoughtful boy. He is a hard worker and has always cared about doing the right thing. He was seen as a leader in class, and he was always there for his friends. Ms. Pizzafrada writes, Tommy Schultz is an exceptionally caring, responsible, and attentive student. Tommy was always the first to offer a helping hand not only to teachers but other students as well. He was awarded the Heart of Gold in second grade for his kindness. And he was incredibly knowledgeable on World War II tanks, fighters, and ships, and always enthusiastically shared his knowledge. Misguided his art teacher, Tommy comes to class ready and willing to learn. He works very quietly and independently on all his artwork, which is amazing. He is a leader and a role model to his peers. And Miss Mobis, his music teacher, he's also part of the chorus and plays the trumpet. Tommy is a role model to all fourth graders, particularly in trumpet lessons. He is dedicated, focused, and puts in a lot of work. Tommy's favorite subjects are reading and math. In reading, he likes nonfiction, as you could probably guess from the reports. He likes learning about things like the Revolutionary War. Math is a subject that is easy for him, so it is fun. Outside of school, Tommy is a rec soccer player. He reports being very good and fast at soccer, so he plays many positions. And he will continue in the Cub Scouts, I'm guessing, over the winter, and is looking forward to playing baseball in the spring. On that. He wants to be an astronaut when he grows up. He's also interested in being a soldier of some sort. So we talked about the benefits of being a soldier and paying for college and all of that fun stuff. He's not quite certain on which branch. I did ask him if he were to solve a world problem, what would it be? And this was his answer. Tommy would like to take on a world-destroying asteroid, building a satellite to smash and redirect it. So that's something he's interested in solving. So I know Dr. Brumman is going to ask you this question, so I'm not going to end with this. I usually ask them, what advice do you have for younger students, but I'll let him say the answer in a minute. So on behalf of the staff and students of Elizabeth Green, it is with great pride we honor you today for your accomplishments, Tommy. You've had a positive impact on our school community, and all of us are so proud of you. As representing Elizabeth Green as our outstanding student of the month. Congratulations.
Videotaping your entire presentation. Just lucky guess.
Good.
Congratulations. So Tommy, I love this. So potential astronaut. That was one of the themes we talked about at convocation this year when teachers all came back. Sky is not the limit. So that's a good resonator for astronauts. So what would you think you should say to your fellow students? Are you the student council president? What was the position that you got?
Treasurer.
Treasurer. So you're clearly a leader. What would you say to other kids about how to become a leader at school?
Be kind and help people.
I love it. Soon, yes.
November 11th.
November 11th, be there, be square. I think you're hearing this theme today about the leadership, the kindness, willing to help other students, and a real important characteristic of a high-achieving student is that they're open to feedback. Some might think they know a lot of things, they don't need to learn from the teacher or from other kids, but really being open to feedback is a huge skill that I wish all folks had. It's a real sign of a professional in the making. So now I get to have the pleasure of bringing up Mr. Gatos from John Patterson School, and he's going to tell us about L. McDavid. Come on up, Elle and Mr. Gatos, and hopefully I pronounced that right. Is it Elle or Ellie?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike Gatos. I'm the principal at John Patterson. Just to reiterate what my colleagues have said so far, this is an amazing process that identifies some really super kids throughout our school year. And as principals, we know how hard they work during the day, but what we don't often see is how hard you work at home. And we know you have those jobs during the day, and that continues right at night. And this is certainly a reflection of all the effort that you put in. So thank you so much for all that you do. As Dr. Brumman said, you heard a theme of leadership and being a presence in the building. And Elle is no exception to that. At Patterson, we have a small committee that looks through our nominations. Every teacher in the building gets to nominate a student. Those nominations go to a committee, and ultimately their choice comes to me. And what a perfect choice this month. So Elle is a 4th grade student at John Patterson School in Miss Dumais' class. She was nominated and selected for the award this month because she is an all-around great school citizen, because of her excellent behavior, her outstanding effort and attitude, her excellent academic achievement, and her contributions to our school, community, and fellow students. And as great as Elle is, students like her pose a little challenge to elementary principals because you look at them and they are very ready for 5th grade as early as October. And you take a deep breath and say, we can do this from now until the end of the year, but Mr. Dodge, you're going to have a great one coming to you very, very soon. Ms. Dumais wrote in her nomination of Elle, Elle is a fabulous choice for Student of the Month. Already this year, she has demonstrated herself to be a student of high character and academic achievement, choosing to do the right thing even when others around her are not. This applies to the classroom, the cafeteria, and at recess. She's also very helpful, always offering to assist peers and teachers, often doing so without even being asked. She also has a wonderful attitude towards learning, and she applies this amazing effort in her daily work. I also often hear other teachers within the building complimenting Elle on her actions and attitude. She definitely deserves a Student of the Month, and that was from her classroom teacher. Ms. Overton, her 2nd grade teacher, said that even in 2nd grade, Elle was a leader among her peers. She had outstanding self-advocacy skills and would always respectfully stand up for what she believed in. Her moral compass is amazing. Mrs. Dalton, our library media specialist, and when asked for a comment, Mrs. Dalton's eyes light up. This is something I didn't know about you two. Elle's favorite subject is reading, and apparently her and Mrs. Dalton have book talks, and they have wonderful conversations about the books that they read. It's super cool. Mrs. Dalton said, Elle is a very dynamic 4th grader. And like Mr. Marciano, I had to say, what is that? I've heard of a dynamic 4th grader. And she said, there's not much Elle can't or doesn't do. She's a super strong reader who loves to read. Our conversations about books are awesome. She will always advocate for what she believes is right and is not afraid to stand up for herself or her classmates. As mentioned above, she's an excellent student in Miss Dumais' class. Her favorite subject is reading. And outside of room 18, she plays the violin and during instrumental lessons, and she's also a member of our chorus. Outside of school, we learned this today as well, she's involved in jiu-jitsu and is a member of the Relson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy in Birmingham. She is a role model at John Patterson and certainly an example of the absolute best that we have to offer. Congratulations.
Oh, I see some paparazzi in the back row. Hello, here, Mr. Gatos. I wish every student that was being honored could look out and see how everybody in the audience is smiling when they hear the amazing stories. I'm getting tired just listening to these stories. When do you guys have time to sleep? Anyway, Elle, when you think about how here you are in 4th grade, what has contributed to you being so successful at such a young age?
Paying attention to
Paying attention. Wow, that's awesome. I'm sure there's many other things, but congratulations. You're a very accomplished young lady, and those are your goodies. And before we go, this is our first time together in quite a long time. I'm going to ask all the students to pose for a group shot at the end. I just want to say that now so I don't forget. All right. And now we have one more elementary school honoree. This is from Ruth Chafee School. Miss Beverly Lawrence will be presenting. I hope I've got this correctly, but if not, please let me know. Jaslyn Lozano.
Yes.
Yay! Jaslyn, come on up. Yes, Mrs. Lawrence.
So first I'll reiterate what you heard my colleagues say, and congratulations to all of our students in here who are a outstanding student of the month. It is quite an honor, and I'm sure well deserved. And again, we can't say enough about our parents because you give your children to us, you send them to Newington Public Schools. We appreciate all that Now, without further ado, I would like to talk a little bit more about this powerful, beautiful young lady here next to me. This is Jaslyn. Jaslyn, her teacher, right now is Mr. O'Brien, and Mr. O'Brien had these things to say about Jaslyn. Jaslyn has been an outstanding role model since the first day of school. She has come into class ready to learn with a positive work ethic and attitude each day. When it comes to transition, she sets a great example for students to follow, and when working, is always focused on the task at hand. She is also a very kind young lady and gets along with all of her peers. She puts forth her best effort in whatever she does, and it has been so much fun getting to know her. She is a great student and an even better person. Jaslyn joined our Chafee family just last year and has settled in ever so nicely. The teachers who have had time to spend time with her went on to say many remarkable things about her. Mr. Liebler, her wellness teacher, said, "She is a pleasure to have in class. She is an amazing athlete and has a true love for activity and sports. Jaslyn is always on task in class and eager to get started. Her willingness to help others with skills that she has already mastered is impressive. She demonstrates outstanding teamwork and sportsmanship during and after competitive games. She is a great listener and super cooperative during class." In technology, Mrs. Bedford shared how Jaslyn has grown into a role model in the classroom. When Jaslyn arrived at Ruth Chafee last year, she was hesitant to use technology as she found some of the tools challenging. I watched her confidence grow as she tested out and took risks in her technology work. She created a fun story using her coding skills, and this year shared her creativity when using Google Slides to create a Chromebook care poster. I am proud of her progress and her willingness to now help others in technology who may be hesitant. When Miss Giuliano, her third grade teacher, heard about Jaslyn's amazing recognition, she was not surprised at all and extremely proud of her. She remembers what an impact she made in her class last year and how Jaslyn quickly earned the respect of her peers by promoting kindness, inclusiveness, and displaying a consistent positive attitude. Jaslyn was and still is a driven student and motivated to learn and succeed. She's not afraid of anything and very resilient with herself and others. Jaslyn will make a positive impact anywhere she goes. Our class and I were very lucky she joined us last year. During Jaslyn's time in music, Mr. Baldwin says how she is a focused, kind, conscientious, hardworking grade 4 student. In music, she is always on task and trying her best to sing. She is also a member of our grade 4 chorus, and I look forward to seeing her excel this year. As you can see, just from the things Jaslyn teachers have said about her, there is no doubt in our mind she is an excellent representative for Outstanding Student of the Month for Ruth Chafee School. She was and still is a great addition to our Chafee family, and we will continue to see her excel during her last year with us and for years to come. Congratulations, Jaslyn. I wanted to just add something because I had an opportunity to sit with Jaslyn, and I found out something about her today that was just so impressive. Was that first, I did ask her, what do you think it takes to be Outstanding Student of the Month? And her first word was courage. And she said, standing up for others. And you heard that theme come out through what all of her teachers said. The one that stuck out to me the most for these things, always do the right thing, even when no one is looking, even if they are looking. Always listen, be respectful to others, let all voices be heard. You don't really hear that coming from a 4th grader saying let all voices be heard, and she leads by example as being a role model. But that's not really the main thing that stuck out to me. What really stuck out to me is that she is a football player. So I said, is that flag? She goes, no, tackle. And I said, you go, girl.
Paparazzi picture. Jaslyn, I don't know what else to say. Would you like to add anything to the comments that Mrs. Warren said about why, what your recommendations would be to other students?
To make sure they respect others, like the way you want to be treated, and try to impress even when something's challenging.
I love it. And I like the fearless part too. day bright. I really appreciate that. All right, now we are going to start our middle school group, and I would like to invite Mr. Jason Lambert, principal of Martin Kellogg, to honor, and I'm going to try to get this right, but correct me if I'm wrong, Zainab Akuz. I got it wrong. Come on up. Correct me. We really want to get names right here in Newington Public Schools, so I'm going to ask you to repeat your name for me, hon. Zainab Akuz. Akuz. Okay, thank you. I'm going to be practicing.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jason Lambert, the principal of Martin Kellogg Middle School. And again, to echo the sentiments that you've heard from some of our other principals, it really does take a village. You know, thank you so much for your partnership and your investment. Your children brighten our days, and really enrich our classrooms and our schools. I'm so excited to talk about our 8th grade Outstanding Student of the Month, Zainab, and here's what her teachers have to say about her really commendable accomplishments. When asked to reflect on what it was like to move into a different country in 5th grade, Zainab responded, "It wasn't like I was turning a new page in my life. Instead, I'd been given a whole new notebook." For Zainab, moving from Turkey 3 years ago was a life-altering, intimidating experience. Having to learn a new language, understanding the nuances of American culture, to make new friends, develop relationships with teachers was understandably very daunting. Yet Zainab is a student who accepts challenges eagerly, sees potential, always strives for high academic achievement, and values building strong relationships. It is these values and so many more that make Zainab the overwhelming choice for the 8th grade Outstanding Student of the Month. Zainab possesses strength of character and resilience. Although she misses her home country and her friends, and in her own words could not help feeling different from her peers, Zainab maintained a positive mindset and worked to overcome obstacles such as mastering the language and making connections with her teachers and classmates. Her warm personality and willingness to adapt to the new environment helped Zainab succeed in embracing these challenges. And although Zainab shared that she often feels drained sometimes at the end of her school day, she continually gives 100% of her concentration to her schoolwork and expending all of her energy on her studies. That is why, for Zainab, home is a very important place. Coming from school, she enjoys unwinding with her family. Zainab shared that she and her family are very close and enjoy each other's company and spending time together outside of school. With the trust and support of her family, she acclimated to a new country and faced these challenges with an open mind and a very hard work ethic. When Zainab was nominated for the Student of the Month voting, her teachers had an overwhelming amount to contribute to her support. Her encore teachers quickly shared that she's polite, respectful, and a responsible young lady. Mrs. Sim, her chorus music teacher, shares, "While I open the main entrance door to welcome students from the bus every single day, she says, 'Good morning, Mrs. Sim,' very politely and gently. This little gesture makes me happy and allows me to begin a new day with positive energy. Whenever she comes into the chorus room, she comes early and shows a little bit of her piano playing, which is very enjoyable. In chorus class, she's always eager to learn and has excellent participation. She has shown improvement in her vocal skills and consistently puts forth her best effort in singing as a group. It is such a pleasure to recognize Zainab as a Student of the Month, as I truly believe this is an exemplary student representing our 4 pillars of Martin Kellogg Middle School." These sentiments are echoed by all of Zainab's teachers. Mrs. Verone states, "This seemingly small act of greeting a teacher and asking, 'How are you?' is such a huge impact and brightens everyone's day. It shows Zainab's caring nature. At her core, Zainab is a person who is genuine and believes in spreading kindness wherever she goes." The first thing that makes Zainab stand out amongst her peers is her positive attitude, Mr. Jarvis states. Every day, Zainab comes into homeroom with a smile on her face and Cocoa Puffs in her hand and says, "Excellent morning, Mr. Jarvis." She truly enjoys and carries this positivity with her throughout the school day, where she has nothing but positive interactions with her teachers and peers. In class, Zainab is always engaged and is an active participant no matter what the topic or activity. Furthermore, she's a leader who not only puts forth her best effort, but is able to exert the best in the effort of her peers. Whenever she's placed in a group, she immediately facilitates the learning so the group can accomplish the task at hand. This quality of hers was apparent at at our first activity in history class, where the students were asked to conduct a trial for Christopher Columbus. Zainab came up with a creative defense and got all her group mates involved in creating questions for their role as a prosecutor. Zainab is very intelligent and is able to master concepts and understand information extremely quickly. Despite the fact that she's still acclimating to the English language, Zainab has made great strides with the English language and has acquired a strong academic vocabulary. She's a true pleasure to have in class and an integral part of the MKMS community. Zainab's excitement for learning and willingness to take on new challenges is evident in her math classes as well. Mrs. Mintz shared that Zainab is currently taking Algebra 1B, the highest math class now offered in grade 8, and she's excelling in her work. She always comes to class prepared with great questions and a willingness to learn. Zainab is not afraid to ask questions or share her insightful thoughts with her class. She demonstrates strong critical thinking skills and is able to make connections beyond what has been instructed. Zainab often asks questions about what comes next because she's able to use her understanding of the content to anticipate how we can use our new learning in a different way. She takes on new challenges with grace and a willingness to push herself purely for the joy of learning. Even when she does make a mistake in class, Zainab understands that it's more important to learn from her mistakes and use them to do better the next time. She takes every moment as a learning experience to improve herself. She does the same with her classmates and is always there to show support and assist them when needed. Zainab's science teacher, Mrs. Avarella, shared for the last 2 years I've had the pleasure of Zainab in my Biomedical Academy classroom. She always has been a fresh breath of air with her consistent patience and empathy towards others in the classroom. In addition, she carries a strong willingness to help others succeed in the learning process. She's always the first one to volunteer when I need help and is always one of the few who is helping towards the end of the lesson to assist with cleaning up. With all this in mind, it's exciting to see Zainab receive the recognition she deserves as this month's Students of the Month. For Zainab, the most important thing as a learner is to have goals and to work hard to achieve them. She's a student who's intrinsically motivated and is always pushing herself to be the best she can possibly be. She's already working on a resume for college, and the advice for others to join as many clubs as possible to build greater social skills to improve interactions with others and develop consistency. Zainab is currently in chorus, yearbook club, drama club, the Biomedical Academy, and hopes to have a career in the biomedical field. Mark Kellogg Middle School is fortunate to have such a talented leader as Zainab, who serves as a role model for the other 8th grade students. She brightens everyone's day with her charisma, charm, and humor, and teaches all of us that hard work, tenacity, and a positive self-attitude are the cornerstones for success.
Zoom in on that tie, for sure. So Zainab, are you planning on going into like a doctor or ooh. I mean, I don't often hear students building their resume for college in 8th grade, so that's kind of caught my ear. Have you already planned which colleges you're going to apply for?
That's one of mine.
Give me a few names.
I don't know, maybe UConn or CCSU.
That's a great medical program. Awesome. Well, congratulations. Any tips you want to give other kids who might be like you, coming to our country and having to learn a new language and do well academically? What would you say to them?
If they want to succeed, it doesn't matter if they get B's or C's. As long as they have the motivation to do so, they are going to succeed in what they believe in.
Words to live by. Thank you very much. All right, we have one more middle school student to honor today. From John Wallace Middle School, Mr. Dan Diaz will talk about Kavi Mather. Did I get that right? Hey, almost getting them all. Come on up, Kavi.
Welcome everyone. I'm Dan Dias. I'm principal at John Wallace Middle School. Apologize for some of the formal attire. We had a pink and jeans day today at school, so we placed the jeans on and everything. So I just want to, first off, so proud today of just hearing from all of you. What an impressive group that we've had today. And as I was kind of sitting back reflecting a little bit, One of the things we missed most over the last few years having these virtual is just to see all the families smiling today. So thank you all so much. I know how proud you are, and we're happy to be a part of this moment with you. So I have the true honor here to speak on behalf of Kavi Mather. Kavi is a grade 8 student at John Wallace Middle School. He's also a student in our Aerospace Academy and School of Engineering. So welcome everyone. I have some great things to say. I reached out to Kavi's teachers and they were more than happy to share a lot about him. So we have a lot to say on behalf of you today, buddy, okay? So Kavi is a grade 8 student at John Wallace. He's been nominated by his teachers, and the reason being that Kavi consistently demonstrates the 5 pillars of Wallace pride at John Wallace Middle School. That is preparation, respect, integrity, determination, and excellence. In terms of preparation, Kavi is consistently on time, ready to learn with all of his materials, and completes all of his class assignments in a timely manner, and is always ready to engage in class activities. In terms of respect, he consistently demonstrates respect for himself, his peers, and the adults he interacts with. He is polite and kind and brings a positive attitude to his classes. In the area of integrity, he has chosen on multiple occasions to make smart choices, not always easy at the middle school level, even when others are not. He's first to check in with teachers when absent. He carries himself with maturity and dependability in his demeanor and his academics. And in the area of determination, we have seen Kavi excel in his classwork thus far. He holds himself to high standards and works hard to achieve those goals. Finally, with excellence, Kavi is extremely consistent with all of his efforts across the board. He is highly motivated, and it's clear that he wants to succeed. I reached out to Kavi's teachers for a little more information on his activities in class and a little bit more about him. So first off, we're going to start here with his Spanish teacher, Mrs. Pino, who shared that Kavi is the epitome of not only a good student, but a good person as well. He carries himself with dignity, and he takes pride in his education. He participates often, respectful to all of his peers, and is willing to work with any and all of his classmates. We are so looking forward to working more with Kavi this school year. His language arts teacher, Mrs. Wright, said Kavi is a leader in our language arts class. He encourages and supports other students, participates regularly, and always puts his best effort in his assignments. He's a pleasure to have in class, and our class is lucky to have him be a member. Mr. Zitney, who is our math teacher in the Aerospace Academy and the program leader, stated, Kavi always demonstrates impressive emotional maturity for his age. He not only consistently makes positive choices, but his attitude and his relationships with his peers elevates their ability to make positive choices as well. He's committed to his academics, and his work ethic and aptitude are exemplary, even among his peers in an advanced mathematics setting. He has demonstrated precision and care with his engineering projects, and has been a delight to have in our Aerospace Academy. Mrs. Pearl, who is his social studies teacher, shared, Kavi is a leader in our social studies classroom. Since the first day, he has stood out as a ready and willing learner who enjoys participating in class. He is polite, kind, and intelligent person who is a role model for his peers. Ms. Morin, who is also an Aerospace Academy teacher, states Kavi is the definition of integrity. He is always polite and respectful to peers and teachers. He has exceptional work habits and consistently participates in class. He has high-level questions and comments to each conversation. His leadership skills are evident in each science group project. He's always willing to help his peers. He's clearly a pleasure to have in class. Finally, Mr. Kelly, who is our band teacher at John Wallace Middle School, states Kavi is a model student, always engaged, eager to learn, and respectful to everyone. He is also an incredibly talented trumpet player. He was accepted in the Northern Region Middle School Concert Band as a 6th grader, and also the Northern Region Middle School Jazz Band as a 7th grader, scoring the 2nd highest jazz trumpet score out of the 18 6th, 7th, and 8th graders who participated and auditioned last year. He has been a leader in the John Wallace Band program ever since he came to us as a 5th grader, and continues to be an absolute pleasure to work with. I had a chance to touch base with Kavi prior to our meeting today and asked him a few questions, learn a little bit more about him. Outside of school, Kavi is really into music, a lot of music as we can see from his band performances. He likes basketball and rock climbing, and what's really impressive to me is his job. He actually has a job at the Rocky Hill School of Swimming, where he works there with students. I shared my own children have gone through that program. It's an exceptional program, and Kavi is a huge part of that. So thank you, Kavi, for that. And as far as next school year at Newington High School, we talked about what Kavi's looking forward to now that he's at the end of his middle school career. And one of the big things he's looking forward to is particularly mathematics. Kavi is enrolled in Algebra 1B, so as a freshman next year, he'll be taking geometry, which is excellent. And he's really looking forward to the academy and engineering courses at Newington High School. So Kavi, on behalf of John Wallace Middle School, congratulate you on being nominated as our Outstanding Student of the Month. We're very proud of you and all of your accomplishments.
Already made it to regionals and middle school, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So maybe you're going to be our next nationals candidate in high school. We just had one go to nationals this year, senior, so I see good things. And are you an aspiring engineer?
Yeah. I like that. And, yeah.
Awesome. So he's going to roll out of middle school with at least one high school credit, or maybe two. You'd be taking a little language or something?
Yeah, Spanish.
Pretty darn good. He's going to start high school with 2 credits under his belt. Any other things you'd like to say to kids who want to achieve great academic status like you have?
Well, stay calm, don't get frustrated by your work, and just stay focused.
I love it. You always do that. All right. Now, last but certainly not least, we have our high school honoree who will be presented by Mr. Jamie Harris, if I'm not mistaken. And we are going to now honor Shashali Mora. We're getting there. All right. Welcome up and give her a round of applause as she makes her way to the front.
So there's things I want to say that I didn't write down about Sasha Lee. She is super active all over the place. So if you have kids who go to Camp Recreate, you've probably seen her there. Just super. She had to put up with my kids this summer. So, it's fantastic. And so having the opportunity today to present this honor is really gratifying for me. Not only as an assistant principal at the high school, but also as somebody who lives here. So I'm just going to dive into it. Is that all right? So it is my great pleasure to be here today to present the Outstanding Student of the Month on behalf of Newington High School for October. And I'm proud to present this recognition to Sasha Lee Mora. She's a senior at Newington High School and was chosen out of over 1,300 students to receive this recognition. Not only is she a conscientious student, she's also really active in the community. She's been a camp counselor at Recreate, a counselor and bus monitor for Camp Sunrise, and has volunteered as an assistant coach for her sister's soccer team. All of that while managing to babysit and work at Journeys. Okay. But beyond all that, she's a great student. She's taken honors world language throughout her time at NHS and is currently taking AP ECE Spanish language and culture. Her impact, though, is really outside of the classroom. She plays for our softball team and our basketball program. But beyond that, she also volunteers with her peers in our life skills program, and you'll often see her sitting and chatting with those friends at lunch. She's been a facilitator for our NAMES program in association with the Anti-Defamation League of Connecticut. She's a student aide and was also a panelist for Student Perspective at our district-wide professional learning at the end of last school year. However, because that's not enough, right? She is more than just the sum of all of those parts. And you'll really get an understanding of why she was recommended for this when you hear what the faculty at our school have to say about her. Principal Tigno shared that Sasha Lee is and this is all caps, rock star. And that she exemplifies the district portrait of a graduate as a communicator, citizen, and thinker. She is confident, expressive, efficient, thoughtful and effective in her communication skills. She helped encourage students from the middle school to voice their experiences as part of the Courageous Conversations with Student Voices panel. She's an outstanding citizen who's able to make connections to different cultural perspectives and contribute to the classroom and community. She has the ability to gather and synthesize information and look for solutions, and she's a joy to talk to. Mrs. Rodriguez said that Sasha Lee is a bright light at NHS. She has a generous spirit and is very deserving of this recognition. Mrs. Maki stated that Sasha was in her math classes for 3 years. Over that time, she grew considerably as a learner. More importantly, she's always been curious and willing to ask questions. She would be the first person to organize others for class, as well as answer questions of others. She is generous with her time and talents, even bringing Mrs. Maki a meal to try. Sasha works extremely hard in all of her endeavors and is greatly deserving of this. Mr. Barbarata notes that he met Sasha last year as a junior in the newly created Black and Latino Studies course at NHS. Immediately, she stood out from her peers with her interest level, participation, and knowledge of the topic. I found her to have a great sense of humor, he says, very engaging, and a young woman with her priorities in order. She is a hard worker, she has a job before school, and is a valued member of the NHS family. She is my student aide and has been an asset to talk to on a daily basis. So really, to summarize all of that, thoughtfulness, communication, hard work, willingness to help out, and leading by example are the things that make you the best candidate for Outstanding Student of the Month. Mr. Barbarata said it best when he shared that you're a young woman who is going places, in quotes, in life, and none of us can wait to hear about all of your many future successes. Thank you.
Smile over there. Wonderful. So Sasha, tell me about your future plans.
I want to be a special education teacher.
We want you back. Where do you go to college?
I'm not really sure yet, but definitely my goal is either Westfield State or Southern Connecticut University.
Beautiful. And I meant that with all seriousness. We are always looking for highly skilled special education teachers. What makes you go into that field?
My sister's a special education student here in Newington, and I think I've definitely learned a lot of things from her, so I want to keep it going, teach people what I know.
I love it. I'm speechless. So we look forward to having you back in 4 years, maybe as an employee versus a student. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I think I definitely like this better in person than on Google Meet, though it served a purpose when we had to. So just to reiterate, you're going to get a link later today or first thing tomorrow of the recording. Share it out with everyone that couldn't be here today. And I want to invite all our honorees up with their plaques for a group photo, and then you get to have some snacks that are in the back of the room. So, and thank you to all of our attendees today, our administrative team, guests, parents, guardians. We're so thrilled to have you here, and congratulations, everyone, for a tremendous job well done. Round of applause.